A teenager grabs the back of a bicycle, trying to force it to a stop, but the rider notices and immediately explodes with rage. The boy is thrown violently to the ground, looking like a total mess, yet he still points an accusing finger at the man.
See, you just waste time. See, I give you a gift and you just waste.
I don't care about time. This is a prison sentence. I don't want your gift! Because you took hers.
The man vents his fury and storms off, but this whole scene is secretly recorded by a passerby. However, things take a spooky turn when this video plays on a company big screen, revealing the man was actually screaming at thin air.
Howard, I need you to answer me. Who are you shouting at here?
Face to face with the crowd's questions, Howard looks completely blank, unable to explain his own erratic behavior. No one knows that the heavy blows of life have already crushed him, leaving him struggling between reality and hallucination. Once upon a time, Howard was a legend in the New York advertising world, a man whose speeches could set the whole room on fire. He even proposed that love, time, and death are the three primal truths connecting all human beings.
We long for love, we wish we had more time, and we fear death.
But a sudden tragedy stole his daughter, who was only 6 years old. Overnight, the charismatic ad mogul turned silent and withdrawn, shedding all his passion and becoming numb to life and work. He spends his days like a walking zombie in the office, killing time by setting up elaborate domino chains. His wife, unable to bear the gut-wrenching pain or face a husband drowning in grief, eventually chose to leave. From then on, Howard's world turned pitch black as he cut ties with everyone, trapping himself in a prison of suffering over his lost daughter. His only outlet is writing 3 letters addressed to abstract concepts: love, time, and death. Howard isn't just writing letters, he is having a conversation with his pain, questioning the universe why this misery befell him. Howard's downward spiral hasn't just ruined him, it has sent the agency he built crashing down, with major clients bailing and bankruptcy looming. Luckily, someone is willing to acquire the company for a price far above market value. For his partners Whit, Claire, and Simon, this is a godsend, meaning a massive payout for everyone. But Howard is strangely stubborn and refuses to sign the acquisition deal. His obstinacy completely ticks off the 3 partners, who aren't willing to let this golden opportunity slip away. They finally reach a consensus to join forces and prove Howard is mentally unstable and unfit to run the company. This way, they can force the sale and achieve their goals. When friendship gets wrapped up in profit, the real test of human nature begins. A private investigator they hired gets hold of the letters Howard wrote. The letters are full of Howard's despair, but these rambling words aren't enough to prove he's lost his mind. Since Howard writes to love, time, and death every day, they decide to hire actors to embody these 3 concepts and make him believe these abstracts exist. They find a struggling theater troupe and hire 3 actors to play love, time, and death. The plan is to have them appear in Howard's life, pretend they received his letters, and engage him in conversation. They aim to provoke and guide him into acting even more erratically, proving his madness while they film the evidence.
So you want us to manipulate this guy's pain so that what? You make a lot of money.
No. We love this man. And he's not just a boss, he's a friend.
Great. When do we get paid?
Meanwhile, Howard is trying to save himself, often standing silently outside a grief support group window. Everyone inside shares the pain of losing a loved one, but he lacks the courage to push the door open. While he sits alone on a bench at the dog park, Brigitte, playing death, slowly walks up to him. She recites the content of his letter, bluntly stating that she is the death he wrote to. Howard is bewildered, never expecting his fictional pen pal to appear in human form, so he flees in a panic. Brigitte follows him, relentlessly explaining her take on death.
Who's that man talking to?
Her words leave Howard even more confused, convinced he must be sick, so he scrambles away. Brigitte reports back to Simon that Howard is shaking and starting to believe her identity. During a chat, Simon accidentally reveals a secret he's hidden for years. He is terminally ill, but dares not tell his family. At 16, he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, and he has been fighting it silently. But the condition spiraled out of control 2 weeks before his son was born. Simon knows better than anyone that everyone eventually walks this path, and death is an inescapable fate. Powerless to extend his life, all he can do is desperately try to leave more money for his family. Simon has always feared death and feared leaving his family without care. so he chose to run from the truth. But he overlooked the fact that what his family needs most isn't his secrecy, but his bravery and responsibility. That night, Howard finally gathers the courage to walk into the grief support group. He realizes loss isn't just his fate, and pain can be listened to and understood. But when the host, Madeline, asks for his daughter's name, the raw pain breaks him, and he refuses to face reality. Madeline sees his fragility and quietly follows him out, patiently urging him to let go of the past and embrace a new life. Then, she shares her own experience with Howard.
My daughter's name was Olivia. She died of a rare form of brain cancer known as glioblastoma multiforme, or GBM for short. She was 6 years old. What was your daughter's name, Howard?
But long-term suppression and deep longing have already trapped Howard, making it impossible for him to let go. Just as he sinks into despair, acting like a zombie, Raffi, playing Time, is already waiting in Howard's office. He pulls out the letter Howard wrote to Time, which is full of accusations calling Time a hypocrite. Howard claims people praise Time for healing wounds, but no one mentions how it destroys beauty and turns everything to rot. Howard feels Time is a thief that stole his daughter and an executioner destroying everything. But he forgets that Time is the fairest gift, never favoring anyone. Raffi rebuts Howard on the spot, accusing him of never understanding Time and only complaining about what he lacks, while ignoring the time he has left.
I'm abundant. I'm a gift. Even while you're standing here talking shit, I'm gifting you. And you're wasting it. On what? And what is this? Huh? You know, I should be the one that's writing angry letters.
Faced with this rebuke, Howard is speechless, his inner desolation stripped bare, yet he remains powerless. Later, Claire finds Raffi to ask about Howard's reaction, but Raffi dodges the question and instead tells her that time is just a persistent illusion. It turns out that the first time Raffi met Claire, he realized she had been trying to conceive through artificial insemination. Claire is seen by everyone as a strong career woman, but now in her 40s, she has missed the prime window for marriage and children. She yearns to become a mother, but her wish has remained unfulfilled. That night, while Howard is dining at a restaurant, Amy, playing the role of Love, appears right in front of him. Because Howard lost his beloved daughter, he views Love as a ferocious monster. Yet Amy's eyes are filled with an unspeakable pain. Looking at Amy sitting across from him, Howard is filled with confusion.
We don't get to choose who we love or who loves us back. If you can accept that, then maybe, I don't know, but maybe you get to live again.
But the pain of losing his daughter has cut to the bone, making it impossible for Howard to simply let go. Amy later finds Whit and admits her acting is terrible, fearing she can't win Howard's trust and wanting to quit. Whit, however, doesn't blame her but insists she can pull it off. At this moment, Whit seems calm and assured, but in reality, he is already stuck deep in the quagmire of his own life. Obsessed with the vanity of fame and fortune, Whit let desire take over and neglected the most precious people around him. His relationship with his daughter is broken due to years of neglect, leaving a wall of estrangement between them. He treated his marriage casually, eventually ending up with a shattered family. Later, the group gathers at the theater to discuss the next step. Since they have unsettled Howard's mind, they now need him to lose control in public to secure proof of his insanity. But Amy immediately rejects this proposal, feeling it is far too cruel. Years ago, it was Howard who led them with passion, taught them how to survive in the business world, and generously gave them shares after their success. Now that Howard is in deep trouble, instead of helping, they are kicking him while he is down to squeeze out his last bit of value. Amy cannot accept such treachery and leaves the meeting in anger. Meanwhile, Howard's mental state is deteriorating, so he summons the courage to find Madeline and pour out his insecurity and pain. He even begins to suspect that he is suffering from hallucinations caused by grief. As they chat, they accidentally discover they share the same fate, both divorced after losing a child. This shared pain made them stop believing in love, leading them to divorce just to escape their scarred pasts. But Madeline tells Howard that even though they divorced, she and her ex-husband never stopped loving each other. As she speaks, she takes out a letter her ex-husband left for her on the day of their divorce. Howard is deeply touched and reveals his heart without reservation. However, his plea ultimately went unanswered. Madeline didn't drown in sorrow. Instead, she chose to face it with an open heart. Life is not a smooth path, for only by weathering the storm can we see the rainbow, and only by tasting the bitterness of the world can we understand the gentleness of time. Clearly, Howard has not yet faced this pain head-on. Whit refuses to give up and approaches Amy again, offering 5 times the original payment for her to continue playing love. But Amy rejects it without hesitation. In her heart, true love is acceptance, vulnerability, and the courage to take risks, whereas Whit treats love as a bargaining chip for profit. She frankly states that she will only agree to help if Whit swallows his pride and sincerely tries to win back his daughter's love. That day, Raffi deliberately blocks Howard on his way home, launching an endless verbal assault to completely shatter his psychological defenses. The anger Howard has suppressed for so long is finally ignited, and he roars at Raffi, accusing Time of being ruthless for stealing everything and destroying his life. After venting all his emotions, he turns and walks away, filled with resentment. This entire scene is captured perfectly by the private investigator Whit hired. Emotional and broken, Howard goes to the subway station, watching the endless stream of people running for love while he stands alone in solitude. Just then, Brigitte appears again. Howard is sick of her pestering, but Brigitte doesn't lecture him like Raffi. Instead, she uses her own life experience to gently explain the meaning of death. Death is never the end of life, but a part of it. It is because of death that life has meaning and urgency. But Howard can't listen to a word of it, dismissing her speech as irrelevant cliches. He feels that without experiencing his pain, no one has the right to stand on the moral high ground and tell him what to do. Those moments of collateral beauty are never guided by others, but must be discovered by oneself. Just as Howard steps out of the subway station, Amy calls out to him. After a series of blows, his heart, though still helpless, has calmed down a little. Amy once again speaks to him about the true meaning of love, insisting that even if love brings pain, it remains the only reason we survive. Life is inherently made up of the various emotions that love brings, but Howard is already in despair. He too once believed love brought strength and saw all the world's beauty in his daughter's smile. But reality gave him the heaviest betrayal.
No. I'm in all of it. I'm the darkness and the light. I'm the sunshine and the storm. Yes, you're right, I was there in her laugh. But I'm also here now in your pain. I am the only why. Don't try and live without me, Howard. Please don't.
Amy's words act like a sharp sword, piercing through Howard's facade of strength and bringing his suppressed pain flooding back. But he is already numb, unable to feel even a shred of warmth. The deadline for the company acquisition draws near, yet Howard still refuses to sign, forcing the partners to play their final card. At the board meeting, the doctored video is projected onto the big screen. In the footage, Howard is seen screaming at thin air, behaving exactly like a madman.
Howard, I need you to answer me. Who are you shouting at here?
Faced with questions from the board members, Howard stammers, unable to form a complete sentence, his eyes filled with helplessness and loss. In that moment, he thoroughly convinces himself that love, time, and death were mere hallucinations that never truly existed. Watching Howard being tormented repeatedly, Claire finally reaches her limit and reveals the entire truth. She admits this farce was a conspiracy carefully orchestrated by her, Simon, and Whit. She never imagined this plan would inflict such deep damage on Howard. Driven by their own selfish desires, they completely ignored his suffering. Surprisingly, Howard isn't angry.
Claire, you dedicated your entire life to this agency. You made us your family, and you could have been starting your own, covering for me. You've done your best to hide it from everyone, but I know your history. I promise you, as long as I am here, your family will be cared for.
Thank you.
Best friend I've ever had. But I'm disappointed in you, man. I mean, not for this. Not for this. You don't need her permission to be her father. Allison's the best thing you got happening in this world.
In fact, he has seen through it all. Howard genuinely thanks them, knowing the company needs to move forward, and he finally lets go of his obsession to sign the acquisition contract. He stares at the final document in silence for a long time, but eventually, he signs it.
What was that second piece of paper?
Howard put some of his ownership into a trust in his daughter's name. It's just a legal certificate saying she's no longer with us.
It is only then that they understand why Howard refused to sign for so long. he had set up a trust fund using his company shares with his daughter as the beneficiary, so signing meant fully accepting the fact that his daughter is gone. He wasn't unwilling to let go of the company, he was unwilling to let go of the last trace of his daughter. Later, Simon voluntarily confesses his illness to his wife and takes the initiative to make up for the debt he owes his family. In the final moments of his life, he chooses not to drown in fear and despair, but to face it calmly, saying a dignified goodbye to the world with love and no regrets. Claire gradually understands the meaning of time and finds the courage to face her age and inner desires. She stops running and starts actively pursuing the life she wants. Whit also lays down his greed and ambition, actively trying to repair the damage he did to his daughter. The greatest wisdom in life is not the unscrupulous pursuit of profit, but knowing how to choose and how to cherish the true feelings around you. On Christmas Eve, Howard knocks on Madeline's door. With endless longing, Madeline hands Howard the letter her ex-husband left for her.
If only we could be strangers again. What was your daughter's name, Howard?
I can't.
Mentioning his daughter again, a hidden pain still stings Howard's heart. Then, Madeline plays a video of their daughter recorded before she passed away. In the video, he is with his daughter, smiling gently, while she beams with a pure, innocent smile, her childish voice repeating how much she misses him.
What was her name?
Olivia. Her name was Olivia.
How did she die?
She had a rare form of cancer called glioblastoma multiforme. She was only 6 years old. She went to GBM for short.
At that moment, all his defenses crumble, and Howard's eyes turn red as tears stream down his face. It turns out, Madeline is Howard's ex-wife. After their daughter passed, neither could bear the pain, so they blamed and avoided each other, eventually choosing to separate, though neither truly let go. Those falling dominoes were not an end, but a new beginning. The pain they experienced is not a shackle, but a badge of growth. Finally, Howard and Madeline walk hand in hand across the Brooklyn Bridge, bathed in the gentle and warm sunlight. On the pedestrian bridge, Amy, Raffi, and Brigitte watch them quietly before silently disappearing into the crowd. A smile finally returns to Howard's face. Not a forced smile after forgetting pain, but one of calm and relief after accepting it. The movie title, Collateral Beauty, holds a profound meaning. When a huge tragedy hits us, when our lives are shattered, and when we fall into endless pain, there are still some beautiful side effects we might miss amidst the sorrow and regret. These beautiful byproducts are the warmth hidden in brokenness, the hope hidden in pain, and the redemption hidden in despair. May we all be treated gently by the world, possess love, cherish time, view death lightly, and live well, never failing ourselves, our lives, or the beauty this world has to offer.